We were sitting around this evening talking, and nearly everybody around here has a favorite Richard Dreyfuss motion picture. For some people, it's Jaws. For other people, it's The Goodbye Girl or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But you may not know just how active this man is in the community, whether it's supporting a political candidate or helping put life back together after the riots here in Los Angeles. He is always involved, and his name is Richard Dreyfuss, and we've been trying to get you on CNBC and now CBS for years. But you're in a play here in Los Angeles, and Monday night is your only night off. So thank you for giving up your night off to be here tonight.
Thank you. And, well, now you've been willing to pay me, so it's different.
Hey, fast pay makes fast friends,
there
doesn't
you
it?
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Listen, let me ask you, because you're an active man, and you listen to Peter Hamill here talking for the better part of a half an hour about some of the questions that face America today, in the wake of the tragedy in Oklahoma City, your own thoughts as a citizen of the old USA on what's going on here.
Well, I have to read Endgame because
it's a wonderful article.
I find that the 20th century, I find any discussion about the 20th century to be interesting because I think that it's an aberration and that we are seeming to get back on a track that we were seeming to be on at the early part of the century. I would like to see a discussion about Oklahoma City in the context of, has this ever happened before? What other kinds of things, the Haymarket riots, the LA Times bombing, what, is it just a phenomena that is new and fully grown now, or do we have a history?
No, no. If we look back to Philadelphia some years back, when the police dropped a giant bomb on the headquarters of a radical group called MOVE in Philadelphia. You recall that.
So it's a question
there were questions about whether the Philadelphia Police Department acted properly at that time.
So it's a question of what is terrorism, what is state terrorism, and I think that that would be beneficial for all of us. I also think that what you asked him about the Kennedy assassination was a very interesting question.
Well, that came from a caller. That was not mine, but it's an obvious question. You know, what did that do for all of us? But, you know, I was watching PBS over the weekend here. They did a show called The Great Depression. And there was a tremendous and terrible riot in Harlem back in 1936 when they would not hire blacks to work on the construction at that time of the Triborough Bridge, Robert Moses and Fiorello LaGuardia. And people wondered what was the cause of this riot. And it was the same thing we talk about now. Nobody was paying any attention to the needs of the people living in the poorest section of New York at the time.
Every race riot in America has always had a commission afterwards, and every race riot in America's commission has always had the same answers. They've always been the same answers, and they've always been ignored. But what happened to us in the last 30 years is very interesting, because we had always been a country filled with certainty, and filled with a certainty about our future, that we owned the future. Then came the assassination, the commission's investigation, the Vietnam War, the oil embargo, and over 30 years we had nothing but negative events. And at the end of that time, we were a different people than we were in '62. We were an uncertain people who doubted our future, and that's who we are now.
Right, but we're also a very cynical nation right now. Everything is suspect. Nothing is, you know, no women are happy, no blacks are happy, all white men are evil. Certainly, in the billions of people in the world, there are some women who are very happy and love their lives. And there are some men who are very kind and very generous. And there are some African Americans who love their life and are living well and who are achieving the American dream. But we never talk about those people. We talk about the negatives in our society.
That's right. And that's all, it's not all due, but to a great extent, you have to put that to television and the inherent problems of the information dissemination that television does.
No question about that. But television focuses on the negative.
Right.
You know, man bites dog, that's news.
That's the news.
But what is not news is success. And the problem with the message that television sends out to young people of all color, all nationality is that, you know, you really don't have a chance in America. America's no good anymore. You can't make it here anymore. And I don't think that's true, Richard. I don't buy into that. I buy into America as a land of great opportunity, but you must work for it. You must achieve it.
Well, we must reclaim the idea that there is an American idea, that there is a dream here, and that it's worthy of being dreamt.
Yeah.
And we don't believe that anymore.
Yeah. Let me ask you here about the first time that you were ever on television. Do you recall that, your first appearance on television as an actor? I don't mean, you know, as a kid in a contest or something.
Well, the first couple of times, I get them all confused. The first time I was on segment of Juvenile Hall, and I wore a T-shirt 2 sizes too small that made me look like Anita Ekberg. That was the first time. Then I played the young Edwin Booth, and I played that, I think, in this building, or maybe in the other CBS building uptown, and I did Hamlet when I was 13 or 14. That was my first couple of TV
And were you able to view these on kinescope or videotape following the performance? What I'm getting at here is the first time you saw yourself on a piece of film or videotape or whatever, what did Dreyfuss think of Dreyfuss on the screen?
Well, I lived, luckily enough, in a world of complete self-denial and delusion, because I thought at the time that I was the greatest actor since Cottage Cheese, and only later, when I looked back on my work, did I realize that I sucked. You know, and but if I had known that then, I never would have continued. I never. I mean, I thought then, well, I'm easily the best actor since Marlon Brando. And
really?
Oh, yeah, when I was 14 years old. But then I looked back and I thought, oh, my God, how did I ever get another job?
But when you look back on some of the good ones, The Goodbye Girl, for which you won the Academy Award back in the 1970s, now you're pleased with that work. That doesn't suck.
You know, I don't think of it like this. My kids are always saying, why don't you watch your movies? And I don't watch my movies. I don't watch movies. I don't make movies to watch them. I make them for you to watch them. So I can't really say that I've seen The Goodbye Girl since 1980 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
When you won the Academy Award, I remember the headlines. Dreyfuss, the youngest man, youngest actor to ever win the Academy Award for Best Performance by an Actor. Is that like shooting heroin into the vein in terms of what it does to you, the exhilaration, the high?
Well, no. It was a great evening, and I loved the fact that I was included in such a small and elite group, but...
Well, it wasn't small, it was you. You were the single youngest to ever win the Academy Award.
Well, but I never thought of that until after that night. It never occurred to me.
Let me do a fast break. We're with Richard Dreyfuss.
No, I don't want you to.
I know. We're with the amazing Richard Dreyfuss back at 800-952-2788 after these messages.